Welcome to the second half of my visit with Madeline Marsh and our romp through the history of makeup and consequently the history of women. I really hope that you saw part one of this, which was from the Victorian era to the 1930s. Today's going to be picking it up at the Second World War and taking it through to the 70s. I so enjoyed watching part one. I know that sounds silly because I was there, but I've watched it a few times, and every time I watch it, I just feel as excited as I did when I was there. So I really hope that has come across. And I know you've all left amazing comments, and it's gone down really well. So I'm pleased, because I wasn't sure if it was only me that was obsessed with that sort of thing. So it's nice to know that I'm not alone. And yeah, certain things really stood out to me in the previous one, especially the bit when we're talking about the Victorian era and how it was really frowned upon for women to wear makeup. Rouge and lipstick, was considered, you just didn't do it. So consequently, women went really big on their hair, extensions and tons of this like big hair. Hair got bigger and bigger and bigger the less makeup we were sort of allowed to wear. And I just think you can't keep a good woman down. And I just love that idea that, we're not allowed to wear makeup, so we're going to go super big on the hair. Anyway, yeah, I enjoyed all of it, and I really hope that you enjoy this second instalment as much as you did the first, and I certainly enjoyed making it, so hope you enjoy it.
So that's the 30s, yeah. And your makeup was on this absolutely huge up and up, with more and more people wanting it, more and more people wearing it. Nothing could stop it, it seemed, except a world war. Suddenly, makeup not available. I mean, makeup itself wasn't rationed, simply.
But they didn't have the raw materials.
Didn't have the raw materials. And something that absolutely sums it up for me is this. And this is a little thing of Bourgeois Evening in Paris Rouge, which was one of the great brands and the most nostalgic brands. But open it up, and inside...
We regret, owing to wartime restrictions, puffs are unobtainable. That's brilliant,
isn't it? And so makeup, if you could get hold of it, came in emergency packaging. This is the wartime pack,
the austerity pack.
Yeah, so it was either that or make your own. was the other wartime option, if you could get hold of it, because in fact what Coty was making most of the time was that army foot powder.
Really?
Yeah. So that's what they were doing during the war, and anti-gas ointment. What Helena Rubinstein was doing during the war, and Max Factor was, of course, that.
Yeah.
Camouflage makeup. So makeup had a very important part to play, literally, in the war effort. If you're doing camouflage makeup. And foot powder, but then also psychologically it still had an important part, because you look at any sort of wartime 40s pictures and what you see are girls with bright red lips, and the bright red lipstick became a mark of sort of patriotism and a will to win. And lipsticks, like all the American lipsticks and any lipsticks that were made at the period, were all called things like Patriot Red, Fighting Red, Grenadier Red. These are all wartime compacts. Compacts were produced for all the armed services, and if you were really lucky and got together with a GI, you might get something like that. Now this is made out of plastic, because the compacts were with wartime restrictions.
It's quite light.
It is quite light. It's lost its mirror, unfortunately. A lot of them do plastic, very low quality.
That's brilliant.
But it's very cool, isn't it?
So yeah, that would be a mark of a badge of honour to say that you had a bit of a date with a GI.
That's a pair of stockings, and that's the Canadian Navy. Isn't that lovely?
Lovely colours.
Really nice. But so people really wanted makeup, and it was important. Very. It was important. Hitler hated makeup, actually, and the sort of lady members of his circle were banned from wearing makeup. It was putting your makeup on was seen as terribly, terribly important under duress.
Yeah. Oh, tell us a bit about the 50s, because I'm loving all these compacts here.
Right, well, during the war, we'd had all these appalling shortages, and ladies had looked like men and been doing all this butch stuff, and it's all been uniforms and boiler suits and hard times and blackout material. In the 50s, after having gone through all that suffering, we were desperate to luxury, and we all wanted to be ladies.
Femininity was
Femininity,
back.
yeah. I mean, this is some of my sort of 50s collection. It was the golden age, the 1950s, of the compact, the novelty compact. Now this one, modelled on a pool ball.
Oh, wow.
Powder in there. This is a sort of classic design.
It's a sort of famous one. It's
very
beautiful.
famous one, yeah. It's in the shape of a piano. So powder in there. You can stand it up, or if you want to put it in your handbag,
close the legs.
Fold
Amazing.
it up. I remember my grandmother, she never went anywhere without a compact in her handbag.
Yeah.
Big, thick lipstick was a very typical 50s thing. Again, very feminine, very ladylike. There's the Hollywood lip liner there.
Oh my God, I think women would probably like that now.
Yes, and it does, to give you that Hollywood look. Next to that, a Hazel Bishop's real red lipstick matches. So the idea of that, you just do your lips with a little match.
Yeah.
And then this, in a way, for me is one of the most significant things from the 50s. The date's from 1957, and it's by Helena Rubinstein.
Oh, it's the first.
And this is the first wand mascara.
Wow, so it's the metal one.
Yeah.
Oh, gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, so I've had this vision of the 50s that you're endlessly checking yourself in minute mirrors and, doing your bust and whatnot, and it all has
Let's see
to
that
be
colour, because that
perfect.
looks gorgeous. Wow. Yeah, first time sort of the oranges and the corals and the...
Yes,
all
coral.
those incredible, bright...
Coral's very popular, all bright and strong, and lots of novelty designs. Like that's a lipstick thing in the shape of a cocktail shaker. I mean, there's lots. It's novelty, it's fanciful, and it's endlessly feminine and ladylike. It's about being a lady. And that whole ladylike thing that if you go through 50s magazines, it's all about being perfectly made up at all times. Put your lipstick on when your husband comes home, what to wear when you're meeting your mother-in-law, makeup for the beach. That's the 50s coral, and that's the gala lip line shown there with that fabulously elegant lady. That's a very iconic piece.
So you used it to outline or do your lips completely?
And to get that perfect line. Because again, if you look at them, and there's Jane Mansfield down there in those pictures, perfect. It's all big lips. There's a real emphasis on the big lips.
Lips and bosoms.
Lips and bosoms. And
that's
bright colours. I mean, this is a little 50s compact.
Yeah, because the 50s is the first time that women started to wear green and blue on their eyes, isn't it?
It's really, they're very sort of strong, powerful colours. And this, you've got your mascara there, there's your lip gloss, and it's the colour of that eye makeup. It's cream eye makeup. And magazines, again, are terribly prescriptive that, if you're a blonde, you're going to wear blue. If you're a redhead, you've got to wear green. It's incredibly formal. Yeah.
I'm so intrigued by this pencil. This white pencil.
Yes, little white pencil.
Because I didn't really know they used white pencils.
Yes, I'm.
Now I need to find out.
That's the only one I've seen with a white pencil.
Just they used it on the waterline, but I've never heard of that before.
White pencil was used for nails, so it could be for nails.
Possibly nails. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
that pink, so
isn't it?
Right, I love it.
The buzzword in 50s ads is ladylike.
Right, everything is ladylike.
And if you think of 50s fashion, think of the Madman look. You've got the breasts going out, the waist going in, the sticky out skirt. It's back to Victorian style corseting again. Women hadn't worn so much underwear since the Edwardian period.
Back into that.
Yeah, back into fashion, courtesy of Monsieur Dior.
Yeah.
All about being a lady.
But it's sort of because they wanted to this time round.
They wanted
because
to.
They wanted to. They chose to.
And we've been
more
blokes, but you say they wanted to, but also in a way we had to, because during the war, Yeah, we'd been doing men's jobs, and you know, we'd had to be blokes. After the war, the men come back, so we have to sort of, you know, go out, you know, leave the workplace and go back into the kitchen with all our lovely new American appliances. And the other thing women had to do was produce loads of babies, because loads, you know, many people had been killed. We were about to enter this huge boom of sort of manufacture and production. We needed a baby boom.
Yeah.
So feminine clothes, loads of makeup.
Yeah, and the classic sort of slim waist, wide hips.
Yeah.
Childbearing.
And if you think of the icons of the decade, Jane Mansfield,
yes,
Marilyn Monroe, it's all about femininity. We'd had the hard lines of austerity in the war, which had been all masculine. Now it's sort of full on, it's breast, boobs and babies and lashings of makeup.
So moving on here, because this looks like a huge change, which is what I'm presuming is the 60s.
Yes, this is 60s and
the difference
70s.
Is almost, you cannot believe that it's 10 years between, one decade between this shelf and this shelf.
Right, well let me just show you something. This was your makeup box from 1970. It's Mary Quant's cosmetic crayons.
Oh my God, how things changed.
And the instructions suggest that you can draw a flower anywhere on your body. So you can just put those absolutely anywhere. And it's such a change. Because
it's just like pastels.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're colouring pastels.
Oh, I love them.
But they're great. And look at that packaging.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing compared
to...
Yeah,
look at the difference. But yeah, some
like
of these were still going on at the same time.
But it was more your mother would have these.
Yes, or your granny. Granny's Guilt. Funky tin for the young people. But that again is so significant, because as I said, in the 50s we'd had to be ladies to produce the baby boom.
Now the
babies have come up. They are the most numerous. For the first time you've got full teenage employment, because it was a boom time. It was a boom time of manufacturing. So you could leave school, whatever, 15, and you could walk straight into a job. If you didn't like that job, you'd walk straight into another job. For the first time, kids had money in their pocket. And for the first time, it wasn't that kids wanted to look like their mothers.
Yeah, and they wanted to have more fun.
Yeah, and their mothers wanted to look like them. Teenagers became became the look. So the other classic thing of 60s makeup is the false eyelashes. And I've got some great Twiggy false eyelashes.
Right.
And Twiggy was the icon. 16, bust measurement, I think of 30.5 inches, something like that. But that's the new icon. All eyes, legs.
Looked like a little 14-year-old girl, big bandy eyes.
Which is what she was. And that was the icon. That's what people were aspiring to. So there was this total sea change in cosmetics. It was a revolution. It was about looking young. Now we're moving on to 70s glam there. That's Bieber. And open that up. Classic Bieber colour. Silver.
Wow.
And this, again, we've seen the Mary Quant, which look like wax crayons. This is the Bieber paint box for your eyes.
The famous Bieber paint box.
The famous Bieber paint box.
I've actually only ever seen this in pictures. I haven't ever put my hands on one.
But look at that colour range. The Bieber colours.
70s.
Yeah, well, it's the colour of bruised fruit. People did look like they'd been punched in the eye. But because it was all the same colour as the clothes. It was russet, maroon, brown. Yeah,
which hadn't been seen ever before. I mean, now we have a mixed mash of fashions coming round. But then this was brand new. The colours were brand new.
That's the 70s. So it's about glam, and you get men for the first time. Think of Mark Bolan, David Bowie,
embracing
and Tim Curry as Rocky Horror. Men embracing makeup and long hair. The whole hippie movement. Is it a boy? Is it a girl? Who's got the longest hair? That everyone's wearing kaftan and beads. So this is a sea change. It's a world where women can dress as men in their jeans. It's unisex fashions. It's teenage revolution, and we haven't looked back since. It is history in your hand. That's what it is.
It is.
And on your face. And on your legs.
Yes. And
wherever
on
you
your
choose to
arms.
put it.
Yeah.
Yes, on your arms.
Oh, thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming.